Hi guys, it's For the Health of It Tammy, and I'm here with my very good friend Susan Luddy, who was kind enough to show us around Sedona while we're here for the Health and Nutrition Conference. Susan, tell us about how you started on your whole food plant-based journey.
So 3 years ago, right before my birthday in 2017, I had a visit with my doctor, and I found out that all of my numbers, all of the lab work came back horrible, and I felt like I was on the verge of having a heart attack. I had adrenal fatigue, my blood pressure was super high, my blood sugar was high, I had high cholesterol again, something that I had reversed before, and I was having all sorts of skin rashes that I could attribute now to dairy, and I had cysts in my ovaries. I had all sorts of things going on.
Well, this is kind of why we're twins, because both of us started our journey in 2017, kind of along the same course, and a lot of the same issues.
Right.
So,
and I mean, I got diagnosed with metabolic syndrome in my mid-30s, but I didn't really pay much attention. I just took the pills that the doctors gave me, and I wasn't really interested at that time in looking into self-healing because it wasn't something I was educated on.
right.
And then I decided that when the doctors told me I'd have to go on insulin shots, that was it, that it was time to take my health in my own hands. So I started researching.
So had you already been diabetic before that then?
Yes, I was diabetic for about 15 years before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'd only taken an oral medication pill, for all that time. But now my A1C had reached a level where they told me I had to go on insulin, and I didn't want to do that because I knew from research that insulin was developed for type 1 diabetics, and that excess insulin in your system causes you to die at an earlier age. So that wasn't something that I was on board with. So and I really
diabetes really sucks.
Right, and I had the diabetes on my father's side, but the real catastrophic disease in my family had been heart disease, where everyone in my family has died or suffered from heart disease. My mother died at 50 of heart disease. My brother had a heart attack at 56. My father had a quadruple bypass at 71, and then died of a heart attack at 82. And all of my grandparents and all of my other relatives that I know of have suffered from heart disease. So I decided that I wanted to be the one to change that history.
Amen.
Yeah.
So how did you get to whole food plant-based? How did you find that path?
So I had already heard of Anthony Williams, the medical medium, and he has a 28-day healing cleanse in the book, also the same name, the medical medium book. So I decided to go cold turkey and go from a horrible eating lifestyle into a very strict, mostly just vegetable lifestyle for 28 days, and I barely made it to the end. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do now? Because I need to add in more foods than what I'm eating right now to feel satisfied. And I came across the Mastering Diabetes Summit, was just getting started. So I signed up for that, and a whole new world opened up for me because I learned about all these plant-based doctors I'd never heard of before, and they were sharing all these success stories of people reversing every health condition that I had. And I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do.
Wow, that's how I started too. It was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
My doctor said insulin resistance. I've never heard of insulin resistance before, and it just kept coming up and up and up. And then I could maintain or stabilize my diabetes. And the more I learned and the more I researched, the scarier it got for me. And then I found the summit, and I started the same way you did.
Yeah, so I jumped into the Mastering Diabetes coaching program and did that.
Which is where we met.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yes.
The 4-month program, and I've been reading all the books ever since then, and I'm still on my journey today. Yeah.
So you live here in Sedona.
Yeah.
And I find Sedona is very small.
Yeah.
Because I live in a city that's 40 square miles. It has 250,000 people in it.
Yeah.
You guys talk about traffic, and I'm thinking, no traffic. Just going a mile away could take us a half an hour.
Yeah.
But do you find it restricting here to be able to eat a whole food plant-based diet? Because in a lot of areas, we heard on our program all the time, people complaining, I can't get fruit, I can't get whatever. So do you have those problems here necessarily?
No, actually, when I started this journey 3 years ago, I still lived in New Hampshire on the seacoast, and there I had more. I mean, there was grocery stores there, of course, but there I had less support than I do here, and this is such a smaller community. But here there's vegan meetup groups, there's vegan potlucks almost every single week, and I was able to I got to know a lot of people today and tomorrow as well. And they are getting on board with the whole food plant-based, no added salt, oil, or sugar bandwagon. So much so that they've even really turned around a couple of the vegan chefs in the area that are really well known, where they're starting to turn to no longer using salt, oil, or sugar as well in their recipes. So it's a big deal.
That's pretty awesome.
And then the more I started researching, the more I found was restaurants that actually have full vegan menus, and they're not vegan restaurants, but they do separate vegan menus. So there's actually quite a few choices here in Sedona, to work from, in addition to a Whole Foods and a natural grocers and some regular grocery stores, smaller independent places, and we have a year-round farmers market as well that I can access.
I found that it was very accommodating here, actually. And at the conference yesterday, they had a list of all the restaurants that got involved in making a plant-based menu for this weekend specifically, and I thought that was really cool because that's not such an easy transition to make for cooks and chefs.
Right.
So
that was one of my volunteer gigs, actually. I went around to some of the restaurants to talk to them about being a participating restaurant and putting together the menu. So there's 5 participating restaurants that we got to sign up.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were involved in that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So just to wrap things up, tell us about. So 2017, you started this journey.
Yeah.
Here we are at the beginning of 2020. How is your health? How has this affected your life?
What's changed over that time is, I've had my ups and downs like many people do. You go through challenging periods, like when I relocated across country after living on the East Coast my whole life, and I decided to move out here by myself. That was stressful. You go, and I've done a number of moves even since I came to Sedona 19 months ago. My health is good. I've been maintaining. I'm not on any medicine for my diabetes. I've been hovering just above the pre-diabetes zone, so I haven't quite reversed it yet. But I know that this will be the year that I do it. My cholesterol is normal. All of my skin conditions, went away that I had. I healed some of the cysts that I previously had. A lot of my allergies. I thought I had year-round allergies, and I found out it was actually dairy. So all that went away when I gave that up. My blood pressure, I was on 20 milligrams of a certain prescription, and I'm down to 5 milligrams. And, we've been talking about going off of it next step, from my highest weight, I'm down 60 pounds.
That's
right now.
awesome.
I still have some more weight to lose, but I know that'll come off this year now that I've stabilized with stop moving around so much. And now I'm really excited because I get asked to talk about my journey here, so I've gone and talked to other wellness retreats here about my journey and my experiences to let people know that sometimes you don't always take the fastest route to get to the end result, the goal that you're reaching, but it's still okay because you still have to say to yourself, come on, I'm still 60 pounds less. I'm off of all these drugs that were causing me to have other health conditions that I no longer have to take. And I'm in a beautiful area, obviously, to be outside and be active. But as we know, and we both said that we used to think of this in reverse.
Right.
It's 80% eating, 20% exercise, when I used to think it was the opposite of that until I got on this program. Actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say thank you for sharing your journey with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you for showing us all around.
You're
I
welcome.
love you.
I love you too.
All right.